If you want to get jacked but don't know what train plan you should use, this video is for you, because by the end of it, you will know exactly what to do. This is why you should listen to me, and let's begin. I want to talk about my own experience, because 3 years ago I was fat and now I am pretty jacked, and that means that I've done things correctly. And that is the thing. Throughout my fitness journey, I used 3 major training plans in the gym. The first one was a full body split, and when I used it, I basically made the most amount of progress that I've made in my entire life. Not because of its inherent value or because it is so great and you should just do it, but because of a different thing, because of the newbie gains. So before I go over the perfect training plan, I want to talk about this thing, because the newbie gains is a phase in which you will make the most progress that you will ever make, and it is just inevitable. It is the first 6 months of your training. And that is the thing, regardless of what training plan you will use, if you will follow between 2 to 3 principles in your training, you will build a lot of muscle. So I was doing it, I was training in the gym and doing consistently, I didn't skip my workout, and for the first few workouts, I was extremely fatigued, and I could not just do it every other day, 3 times per week. I needed that rest, I actually needed it, but as time went on, my body adapted to this level of stress. And after 3 months, because I wanted to make more progress, I switched from this full body split to an upper-lower split, and I started to train between 3 to 4 times per week. I sometimes skipped leg days. I suddenly realized that I have a problem with my back and my knees. So, right, I had that excuse. But I trained my upper body consistently every time. My leg days, fucking hell, I'm not proud of that shit, but I didn't really train legs to a good extent for the first 1 year of my training. I will be totally honest with you. But when I started to do that upper-lower split, I was still midway during the newbie gains phase, and I still continuously made progress. Just for the sake conveying to you how much progress I made, when I started to train the gym, I lifted in a lat pull down around 45 kilograms for 10 reps. After 6 months, I lifted around 65 kilograms for around 10 reps. Right, a 20 kilogram increase, which is pretty damn massive. So I had gained a lot of strength, but that is the thing. After 6 months of training, my progress started to stagnate, and I started, you always see this curve of results when training. I saw that logarithmic progress fucking curve, and I felt like I was here. This is the large amount of progress, but I started to slow down. And after staying on track for another few months, and I always had a problem with fatigue, and I also had a friend who tried to go on a push-pull leg split and failed, and because of that, I didn't really think that it was for me. But then, one day, I decided to just stop on it. I started by training for 5 times per week, doing an upper-lower push-pull leg split, just because I thought that I would start to make more progress when I would do it. And then I did it. It went well. I decided to go and train 6 times per week instead. Now, I realized fairly early at the beginning of my fitness journey about the value of habit building, and I decided to actually act in accordance to the truth that building habits is very important because it makes everything more effortless. But I acted in a way that pretty much contradicted this truth by training 2 times per week and 3 times per week and not 6. So I decided to hop on that 6 times per week training plan, just optimized for habit building. And that is the fix. Since then, I've been way more consistent. So the last year and a half has been the most consistent period of my life in training. I have not missed even one workout. And I genuinely think that it is because I optimized for habit building, because I went on the push-pull leg split. Now for the results, to be totally honest, I haven't seen much greater results, because essentially the progression curve of newbie gains phase, intermediate phase, and advanced phase, I'm basically pretty advanced right now. I've done most streams correctly, so I've rapidly progressed in that graph, and now, right, my progress is even more stagnated than it was, but I've seen pretty good results. But that is the thing, most progress actually comes just from your phase in the training path. If you're a beginner, you will make a lot of progress regardless of your training plan. As long as you follow a few principles that I will go over in a second, you will make a lot of progress. But if you are more advanced, you will make less progress per workout. It's all in relation to your experience in training. If you are more experienced, less progress. But it is the thing, you don't gain XP points in training by just going to the gym and moving weights. No. You don't make any progress by doing so. To make progress, you need to follow the right principles. If you don't follow them, that's what the studies show. If you go and you do everything wrong, you will not see a lot of progress. And now I'm about to go over the 3 principles that matter the most, the 3 things that matter the most. They are not really principles, they can be converted into principles. The first one is the volume. I want to talk about a meta-analysis that you might see on the screen about the effect of training frequency and sets per week per muscle on hypertrophy. So I won't go into it in details. I want to just talk about one of its conclusions that I drew. There is minimal difference hypertrophy-wise, muscle building-wise, when volume is equated. Basically, if you will go and do a push-pull leg split and your volume will be the same as if you were to go and do an upper-lower split, you will see very similar results. And that is the thing. At the end of the day, weekly volume matters more than the training plan itself. That's the first thing. The first principle is that you train each and every muscle for between 10 to 20 sets. But not only that, the amount of sets itself is not enough. There is another very important thing that is called... So let's first talk about junk volume, because it is a thing and it exists and it applies even more for strength and not hypertrophy, not muscle building, but it applies for hypertrophy too. If you look at the screen, right, you might see a bunch of text, weird text, right? You might see 2 meta-regressions that show the relationship in a few studies, right? Meta-regression is pretty complex. It basically tries to showcase the those response relationship between weekly sets and strength and hypertrophy. Basically, the more sets you do, the more hypertrophy you get, with a slight curve of diminishing results. But when it comes to strength, at least in this meta-regression, there is a massive degree of diminishing results. This is 10, this is 20, and this is 30. Essentially, if you want to build more muscle, performing more sets is important, but if you want to gain more strength, you will get most results from the first 10 sets. And not only that, for hypertrophy, there is a thing called junk volume. If you don't train hard at all, not even remotely close to muscular failure in your stats, they are junk volume, and you won't get a lot of hypertrophy benefits from them. Hypertrophy comes from weekly sets, but also from the degree, the intensity of each set. If each set is taken very far away from failure, you will see less results than if it were to be taken very close to muscular failure, and this systematic review basically confirmed it. You can fact check it. So it is about 2 main things when it comes to training plan. So the second thing is intensity. So train pretty damn hard, close to muscular failure, between 4 to 0 sets per set. But when it comes to the training plan itself, it is about 2 things. The first one is about weekly volume. If you get between 10 to 20 sets per week, you are golden. You can get more and you will get more results, but with a slight curve of diminishing results. And maybe training more intensely might even reduce the amount of sets you need, because intensity derives more hypertrophy and muscle damage. I won't go and bore you with it. You basically need to balance fatigue and hypertrophy in a way that allows you to go to your workouts and feel just about ready in your training plan. And that is the thing. You need to recover between each one of the workouts the muscles that you trained in them. If you go and you train chest today and tomorrow you have another chest day, because that's how your training is planned, it is a mistake. You should make sure that you have rest days between workouts, and these rest days are sufficient to allow you to recover between each one of them in the muscle that you train with the muscle that you train in them. When choosing a training plan, you should keep 2 things in mind: the days you train and the time per workout of each one of these training sessions. And the third thing, which you should just keep in mind as a default, is that you recover fast enough, right? Push-pull legs 6 times per week is great if you can train each and every day but don't have a lot of time to train each one of the days, which by extension means that you can go to train, you have a workout and you have a gym in your house, or you train at home, or you have a gym that is very close to home or work, and you can go to there and train for 30 minutes and get a great workout in. If you can do so, a push, chest and shoulders, pull, back and biceps, and legs workout split can be amazing. You will get enough sets per week. You will train each time for around 30 minutes or 45 minutes. If you want, you can even do things faster. You might see less results because there's total volume, but you will be able to get your workout in and see a lot of results because some motion is better than no motion. And if you train very intensely, then I think that's my own idea. The curve of diminishing results get even more. You get more diminishing results earlier on because you fulfill more of your genetic potential earlier on, just because of the intensity. Studies don't really adjust for it to the greatest extent, but they do show that more volume is better. I don't know, that's just my own idea. And if on the other side, your gym is pretty far away and commuting to there takes a lot of time, a smarter idea will be to just take 2 or 3 days from your week and allocate them to training for 1 to 2 hours. If you have the time, right? If you have more time and less days. And that is the thing. You should just not train the same muscles day after day. With this principle in mind, making sure that you train all of the muscle basically that you want to grow for more than 6 sets per week, including compound movements and isolations, right? Compound movements are them too. So this is amazing. Is what you should do. On the screen, you can pick one of these training plans, and by picking them, you will get in great shape. And ask yourself, what does my life allow me to pick? And pick it. And that's essentially it. If you enjoyed this video, you can like and subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.